What is up, Couch Potatoes? Welcome to the Behind the Couch Status Report. My recording crashed because I tried to show too much of my screen going on at once. One of the things, so consider subscribing to the Patreon so I can upgrade my RAM, and we don't have that problem. To be fair, I'm running the computer pretty extensively. So I have Blender open. I just got the rest of my scene finished up today. I was trying to get, the way I organized it was to do 1/4 of the film a week. I don't know how realistic that is anymore. I thought I'd be a lot farther along. The issue that I'm having consistently is I'm getting overwhelmed with Blender because it's not as intuitive as I'd like it to be. Which I mean, I guess that's part of the skill issue, right? It's like that's the learning curve. So, anywho, the film is coming along. The first scene is done. I'm currently on the second scene. And it's pretty... This is one of the more extensive ones. So it's like, in terms of like shot complexity, this is one of my more complex shots. I have one more that is extremely complex, and that is the finale of the scene of the show, or not the show, but the episode. That's pretty extensive. I can't go into detail. I don't want to spoil it for certain people, but all the rest of the scenes are pretty tame. The camera is relatively in one location. There's stuff happening in the background. No, that's not true. That's not true. Because my Gardevoir scene is also pretty different. Difference being is that we have all the footage on location, so there's no CG background. It's just character, visual effects, and effects. Kind of what we're looking at here. So, but my hope is if I can get the ball rolling over this weekend, I believe... Is it this weekend or is it the following weekend? It's next weekend. Okay, next weekend I have like 4 days off. And so I'm going to actually try to sit down those 4 days and really crank out as much as I can. I will say the hurdles that I was definitely facing this week were putting two materials on one mesh. Or on one object. That was, I think, harder than it needed to be. The next part, which I really don't understand why my brain's not clicking. Either there was an update and they switched it around on me, or I'm just dumb. But the way I handled the trees in the previous episode was I used a hair simulation on the ground, and then I told it turn the hairs into the 3D models, and then use the tree models that I have to populate the forest. But now I just need to animate the leaves. But for whatever reason, I can't get the hair thing to do it. I'm sorry, I got it to do it. However, the model of the tree that I got from Footage Crate, the leaves are one model, the trunk is one model, and I can't figure out how to get them to combine for that particle simulation. So I'm probably going to have to go find a different tree model if I want to continue with that. But then I also couldn't find a way to use the physics engines, right, like the wind and soft body physics, to make the tree sway. Because I feel like I'll get a more natural animation if I try to replicate the physics. But all the tutorials I'm finding is, oh, this is how you manually animate the tree. And I'm like, that's great. And I guess I could, yes, make 5 different swaying tree models and then use those models as a collection and use that collection to influence the physics, and now all the trees are moving. But I really wanted to like a realistic wind, because then if I want to, oh man, all the trees aren't moving fast enough, cool, well now I can just turn up the wind dial. I don't have to manually change every effect in the 5 trees. Instead of making 5 adjustments, I can just make 1 adjustment. If anybody knows how to do that or knows a tutorial for that, leave it in the comments, because that would help me out insanely. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I've got like I'm gonna try to show you guys again the scene that I've built, but this is what we've got going on so far. So I've got Tyranitar for reference. I just put in the lighting to make that correct. I've got a granite texture here, an obsidian texture on the inside. I got a tree. I will say what I did do. What I did do is for the tree over here in HitFilm, I was able to use. I masked out the center of the tree so that way the trees seemed to be more structured, and then I used a liquefy effect, to simulate the leaves moving, and I feel like it looks okay for the most part. Where your audience's eye is going to be, they're going to be on the Tyranitar, so it's not the tree that they're looking at, but at least there's the subtle movement of. I will tell you right now, that movie has been out for a year. My original Totodile Hunter 1 has been out for over a year now, and I only just noticed in like the last month that my leaves weren't moving. So, we're getting better. My films are getting better visually with every one that I do, which makes me super happy because it means that I'm learning, right? So it's like, if this second one takes off and I end up making a third one, the third one's gonna look even better. So I'm keep on trucking along. But yeah, so we're about maybe like 15%. I would argue 15 to 20% through the visual effects. It's getting there. It's definitely, it's overwhelming. The Blender and 3D animation is overwhelming, and I'm trying to I have to keep reminding myself this is the same overwhelming feeling I had when I first was learning visual effects, because that definitely was an issue that I was having, but I was 13 when that was happening. Now I'm 26. Why are we doing this? I will say I think it's that extra dimension that makes, there's so much physics you have to keep in mind. There's so many ways that you can manipulate the objects on screen, whereas with 2D compositing, which is what I know how to do, that's like my main thing. That I know at the back of my hand. I don't have to look up a tutorial. I can go into HitFilm and immediately go make the scene, the shot. And that was kind of like where I got to with the trees, where I'm like, okay, I've spent 2 hours on the fucking I spent 2 hours on the tree, right? At this point, I gotta move on. I'm losing my momentum, and so I was like, let me go into HitFilm, see if I can fake it, and if I like it, okay, cool, we'll do it this way, and then I'll do it this way for now, and then somewhere along the production, if I find the right setting on a following shot, because that's usually what happens. Like if you watch Totodile Hunter 1, my forest scene with Torterra looks like garbage compared to what it looks like when you get to Whirlipede, because then I learned stuff, right? And so it's like you get to the Whirlipede shot, there's a lot more going on in the forest, and it feels more like a forest compared to what I was doing previously. So I just have to keep reminding myself, just keep tracking. So if you're looking forward to this film, subscribe. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait to see how it comes out. But that is your status report. That is your update. Hopefully, I can catch back up and get halfway through the film by next weekend. But again, next weekend there's a 4-day stretch where I'm not working and I'm not going anywhere. So I will just go. I'm gonna try to wake up early. I'm gonna try to get in here and try to get as much effects done as possible. And we'll see. So, yeah, like and subscribe. Catch you later.